When it comes to manifestation, you have to understand that everything starts in your mind. And when I say this, I mean every single thing you see around you is simply a projection of a thought you first had in your mind. So, like, let's say if you're in your room and you look around, well, basically, the posters, the the decorations, your bed, what color bed you have, what color sheets you have, it was all first a thought within your mind. So you basically have to go within, you have to go inward before you could ever create anything on this outside quote unquote physical realm. And I say quote unquote because everything that you see around you is simply just vibration, it's just energy. But to us, to our physical eye, it all seems physical. Me and you, we're just energetic beings. If you zoom into our bodies on a molecular level, you will see that we're just a bunch of atoms vibrating. So everything has a certain vibration, therefore, everything is just energy. Now, when it comes down to it, when you want to manifest something, it's not that you have to go out chasing it, looking for it. It's not something that you chase. It's not something that you go out for and look for and you try to get. That's typically what everyone's doing nowadays, and it's not working. It's called the law of attraction for a reason, because you want to attract these things to you. And how else would you attract something to you other than being at the same vibration as it? You have to understand that like attracts like in this universe. This is why you see certain people hang out with certain individuals that they call friends, and they all act the same. You probably see this with a bunch of people at your school, or you probably see this with a bunch of people in your family that act very alike, so they hang out with each other. And this is because alike attracts alike. And this works the exact same way with the law of attraction and manifestation. If you want to manifest something into your reality, you have to be on the same wavelength or same quote unquote vibration as this thing you're trying to manifest. So if you're trying to become someone who's wealthy, if you're trying to become someone who is an entrepreneur, or you're trying to get your own car, your own job, a relationship, you have to vibrate at the frequency of you already being that. So let's say you want a relationship, you have to be on the vibration of thinking I'm already in a relationship. And then you will then attract that to you, and it may take a day, it may take a month, it may take a year, but the more and more you're in tune with that vibration, the quicker and quicker it's going to come into your reality. So if I were to talk to somebody about, hey, I want to like manifest a new car, I would say the number one thing you should do is go into your imagination and create an imaginal act that says that you already have that car. And what I mean by this is it's more beneficial when you do this before you go to sleep, because you can tap into your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind create or controls like 95% of your reality, upwards of 90% of your reality. And the only way you can tap into your subconscious mind is through very, very deep, restful mind states, because whenever you're very alert and very aware, your conscious mind is kind of like on guard, and your subconscious mind holds all your like identity beliefs of who you are, of how life works. It holds all your core beliefs. And if you want to tap into your subconscious mind before you go to sleep, there is a method by the famous mystic, speaker, whatever you want to call him, Neville Goddard. He came up with the method called state akin to sleep. So before you go to sleep at night, your mind becomes very drowsy, and it gets into a state called theta. And basically, as you're fading into sleep, your subconscious mind is going. So if you were to imagine yourself, driving a car, the feeling of it and how it would feel if you were driving a car and then you fade into sleep, basically this is what starts to attract it to you, because your subconscious mind then starts to believe that you already have that car. So I would say, hey, if you want a new car, before you go to sleep, close your eyes and ask yourself, how would it feel if I had this new car? And don't be afraid to add detail each time you do this. Like What type of car is it? Where are you driving? The windows are down. How does the wind feel hitting your face? And all this stuff you're just imagining. You're not actually there, but you're in your bed, you're laying, and you're just imagining this. And like I said before, all is mind. So whenever you're imagining this in perfect detail over and over and over, um, the main thing you want to look for is the feeling of having it. Once you have accomplished this, once you start feeling overwhelmed with happiness and you feel like you're literally there while you're driving the car in your imagination. And if you absolutely feel like you're there in your imagination, this is a great sign that's telling you that you were doing it right. And the best thing you can do is do this night after night after night until your subconscious mind completely believes that you already have a car. So, and this works whenever you no longer want it because you've already tricked your subconscious mind into believing you already have it. And it's very, very beautiful how this works because I've manifested many things over a long period of time, and it's so fascinating how you don't have to worry about everything in between. You just have to worry about the end state. You have to not worry, but you have to focus on having the end state. So when I say, oh, you want to manifest the car, just imagine you already having the car. Don't worry about what's going to happen. Don't worry about, oh, what dealership do I have to go to? Where do I have to do this? Don't worry about anything in between. Just worry about the end state, and it's completed and it's already done. And that's it. And the universe will put things into alignment in which you will already have that car. And it's crazy how the universe works because, like I said, I've manifested many, many things in my life, and it's always happened in ways I could never have thought of. But the end picture is always perfect to a T. Even with this microphone, even with this mic, I was imagining in my head not too long ago, like, oh, wouldn't it be cool to have a mic? Like basically every single person who does like influencing or talking to a camera, it seems very easy, it seems very effective. I kind of want one. I would imagine myself having one, and I'm just scrolling on eBay beforehand, before imagining this, and I was like looking, and like they're all overpriced. They were all very, very, I was specifically looking for one that has the, what's it called, the wind protector on it. And I was looking and I couldn't find one, and they were all like 80, $100 and maybe even close up to 200. And I'm like, yeah, it's not even worth it. And then like randomly after I started imagining these things of having it already, I go on eBay one day randomly, not even like purposely thinking about it, and I see one for $60 where it has everything in it, and the guy, he's listed it and he says, I barely used it, I don't really need it. And I bought it, and I was like, okay, fine, that's cool. And it's not just with the microphone. I've done this with, getting a car. I've helped people get license, like literal driving license on their first attempt by, imagining they already have it. I've won my first bodybuilding show doing this as well at only 19 years old because in my head I imagined myself being a champion, and the whole time I would imagine myself doing this before sleep, and then I get on stage and I do everything perfect. It felt like I was already there, and then I win first place in my whole category, and everything came into fruition because I imagined it. I saw it first in my mind's eye. And what your mind's eye is, don't overcomplicate this. It's not like an eye inside your brain. It's your imagination. It's your mental image. And the more and more you work on perfecting this mental image, the more and more you work on perfecting your imagination, the better and better you will be at creating your own reality. In the Bible, it says that we are created in God's image, and if God is the creator, then we are also creators ourselves. But most people just don't know how to do it. They're not tapped in. They're not tapped into energy work. They're not tapped into the universe. They're not tapped into their spirituality. And the reason this is because they're so distracted. They're so distracted by social media, Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram, all this quick gratification. They're so busy being distracted that they're not creating. They're just constantly consuming. So if you want to be a creator, if you want to create your own reality, take time out of your day where you sit down with yourself in silence, by yourself alone, and close your eyes and imagine what it would be like if you had your dream reality, and do this over and over and over again until you get that feeling that it's already done. And the feeling state is the most important part about all this. You can imagine all you want, but if you're not feeling it to be true, then it's less likely to happen. Yes, it's still possible that it can happen, but if you start to feel it to be your reality, this is a key component to tricking your subconscious mind into believing your new reality is the feeling state. Because you can't really your brain can't decipher what's real and what's fake. So if you're imagining a perfect reality and you feel great, your mind is already believing that, oh, I already have it. And they've even done studies with like professional athletes where they've done like visualization tests where like there's a group that didn't visualize and then they had to go out and perform and they did worse, and then there was a group that would visualize them winning and doing things perfectly, and then they went out and they performed greatly. So this is not just some like random pseudoscience yada yada yada. Like, this is actually proven to be real. Like, vibration is real, energy is real. And the last thing I want to say is like attracts like. So if you want something, you have to live in the reality of you already having it. And if you can't simply act, start to affirm, oh, I already have this. I'm already happy. I'm already grateful. I'm already thankful. I'm thankful that I have a perfect life. I'm thankful that I'm grateful. I'm thankful that I'm happy. And once you start saying these things over and over and over again, you start to embody it. You start to become it, you know. And I understand that sometimes this is that hard concept to understand, but it's basically, if you want to live a better life or a greater life or the life you desire, you can't keep chasing it. You have to become it before you can attract it. Even if you have to act, even if you have to fake it till you make it, do it, because it works. It simply works. And like I said before, the main thing I would tell you is to visualize, because that's the number one way, you can actually live in that state beforehand. So before you go to sleep at night, just make sure you visualize that perfect end state, whatever it is, whatever you desire, a relationship, having a car, having money, having a business. Imagine yourself in that state of being and feel it into your sleep, and do this consistently. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.